forward and not let Miami walk all over them.
It's something Pittsburgh's going to have to reach inside, Jen, and try to do before this thing gets out of hand. Ja'Cory Harris dumps it off nicely to avoid the rush. Richard Gordon stays on his feet. He'll have no gain. It'll be about, might have even lost one. It'll be 3rd and long.
If I'm coaching Pitt right now, I'm telling these guys along those lines not to give up, because this season is still in front of them. They may lose a game tonight, but you don't want to lose your heart and soul in the 3rd game of the year.
But Craig, they're lost because their identity for the last 2 years have been not to blitz. Without Greg Romius, they're entirely different.
Corey Harris on 3rd down. Bird has the catch. He's straining for the 1st down. It's a flag across the way.
Oh gosh.
Well, this the youngster is down, and it appears to be Dan Mason, the middle linebacker. And check out Mason and the penalty. Mason did not start tonight. Part of his punishment, he was along with the running back Jason Douglas, who earlier had been involved in an off-the-field incident that's been part of Pitt's issues over the last few days. We'll check in on Mason's status right after this. Miami with a 17-0 lead on Pittsburgh. All right, John, back here in Pittsburgh, where the medical personnel are on the field here at Heinz Field, attending to Dan Mason, a 6', 235-pound sophomore from here in Pittsburgh, who suffered a significant injury to his leg. It's a pretty gruesome looking thing. We're not going to show it to you because of that, as the medical personnel attend to Mason. Mason is a young man who has been among the team leader in tackles. He has been a leader on this team for much of the season. He was involved by association in an incident involving suspended running back Jason Douglas, in which Douglas was charged with a DUI and hitting a pedestrian, and because he was there at the time, Dave Wannstedt chose not to start him tonight, but all of the coaches and people around the Pittsburgh program lauded the way that Mason had handled that discipline, and the way several of the other Pittsburgh players as well, in light of some off-the-field incidents in recent days and weeks, had really come together and challenged one another to kind of put an end to those. They had a couple of fights in the offseason involving Jamal Sheard and Keith Coleman in separate incidents, and then just last night, Jeff Knox, who was a freshman defensive back, was dismissed from the team for an off-the-field incident, and Wannstedt's drawn the line. He's done a really solid job in providing programs for a lot of these young men, as we see Dan Mason leaving the field and being greeted by his teammates and raising a hand to the fans. And certainly we wish our best to the young man who's played some good football this season here tonight as well.
Pittsburgh has such a great tradition here recently of middle linebacker play, whether it's H.B. Blades or Scott McKillop, and the coaching staff really feels like Dan Mason could kind of be the next great middle linebacker here at Pitt. So we certainly wish Dan Mason a speedy recovery to get back on the field.
And to kind of pay off the thought about just the off-the-field incidences, there's no problem here at Pitt.
No, not
Dave
at all.
Wannstedt has everything under control, and schools around the country all realize, you know, we could be the next one tomorrow morning. It's the way life is today with young student athletes, and the opportunity to, you know, have a misstep out there. And so you just got to be really careful of your student athletes today with what you do.
You know, and I don't know if there's another head coach in the country that does more in terms of preventative measures to help his own players than Dave Wannstedt. He has life skills programs that talk about drug abuse, alcohol, domestic violence. He has former NFL players, current NFL players come back to talk to the team about the responsibilities of being a Division I athlete. On the bye week, he goes around campus and takes class check, make sure his kids are in class.
He really wants it. It's just not an act. I mean, he's genuinely here to mentor.